Introduction to Object-Oriented Programming in Python. In programming languages, mainly there are two approaches that are used to write program or code. 1. Procedural programming. 2. Object-Oriented Programming. Procedural programming. In Python, procedural programming is a way of organizing code by breaking it down into a series of procedures, also known as functions. These functions are essentially self-contained blocks of code that perform specific tasks, taking inputs, parameters, and returning outputs, values, if needed. The program is structured around functions that perform specific tasks. The program is written in a top-down manner, starting with the overall functionality and then breaking it down into smaller, more manageable functions. This approach is generally easier to grasp for beginners who are starting to learn programming. It can be efficient for smaller projects where complex object interactions are not required. Functions promote reusability and modularity, making the code easier to maintain and understand. Object-oriented programming. Python classes. A class serves as a template or blueprint for creating objects. It defines the structure and behavior of a particular type of object. A class specifies the attributes, data, that objects of that type will possess, and the methods, functions, that objects of that type can perform. Create a class. To create a class, use the keyword class. Python objects. An object is an instance of a class, representing a specific entity with its own set of attributes. Each object created from a class has its own unique data values for the defined attributes. They can also call the methods defined in the class to perform actions. Create object. Now we can use the class named myClass to create objects. The init function. The init function, also known as the constructor, is a special method in Python classes that is called automatically whenever you create a new object of that class. It is used to initialize the object's attributes, data, with starting values. Purpose. Initializes attributes of a newly created object. Sets up the initial state of the object. Provides a way to customize object behavior during creation. Number syntax. Def init, self, parameter 1, parameter 2. This docstring explains the purpose of the constructor. Self.attribute1 equals parameter 1. Self.attribute2 equals parameter 2. Number, assign values to other attributes using parameters.